Welcome back. Right, Chelsea unbeaten after 2 games in the Premier League. They face Fulham on Saturday. Gary Cottrell is watching them train right now. Gary, good morning to you. Cole Palmer picked up an injury in the warm-up against West Ham. Any indication when he's back?
Don't use the word warm, please. It's chucking it down here at the Chelsea training ground. Bad news with the weather for training here at Chelsea. Bad news, I'm afraid, for Chelsea fans as far as Cole Palmer is concerned. Cold Cole Palmer. He would be cold if he was out here, but he's not. He's not out there with the rest of the squad doing their warm-ups. Obviously, he felt something warming up, didn't he? Talking about warm-ups in the game at the weekend at West Ham on Friday night. He felt some groin discomfort and didn't take part in the game, and obviously we were waiting to see whether or not he would be out here for this training this morning. There was training yesterday. They had the weekend off, and we saw Cole Palmer, didn't we, out and about at the Notting Hill Carnival in disguise, enjoying himself. He was perfectly entitled to do that. As I say, it was a day off. He was there with friends and family, but he's inside at the moment doing his own work. They want to take it easy with him because obviously he's important to Chelsea. They next game is at Fulham on Saturday lunchtime, and so they'll want to make sure that he's ready and available if he can be to play for that. And of course then you would have thought he'd be called up if fit to the England squad. So I don't think it's a big problem. That's my understanding. It's just that they just want to take their time with him. He's had this slight niggle, this slight problem since the Club World Cup, and he's been trying to do his best to play with it, but just couldn't manage to play, as I say, after the warm-ups on Friday at the London Stadium. And so it'll be just a case of giving him his own work to do in the gym, in the pool, and then maybe coming out with the rest of the team later in the week. That's just me speculating. Obviously nothing from Enzo Maresca on him since his post-match comments along those lines on Friday. But I wouldn't worry too much. I think it would have been a surprise if we had seen him out here today. Just giving him the best possible chance of maybe being involved before the international break.
Gary, plenty of faces out there, but there'll be Chelsea fans watching saying, hold on, where's he? The bomb squad. Who's getting bombed between now and the window closing?
Yeah, the same old bomb squad. Listen, 43 Chelsea players reported for duty pre-season. Obviously, a lot of those were destined to go out, or some already have gone out. We know the names of the 7 in the current bomb squad, a bit like last season. That means not required to be involved in first team training by Enzo Maresca, Axel Disasi, Ben Chilwell, Elfie Gilchrist, Carney, who's completed his medical, we understand, at Dortmund. Raheem Sterling, what does the future hold for him? He's one that Chelsea want to get off the books. Chris Nkunku, and of course Nicholas Jackson, who's getting a lot of interest in the Premier League, and we understand from Bayern Munich. So yeah, there will be outs certainly ahead of the close of the transfer window. Potentially, if they can get some players out, they may well invest some of that money in getting some more players in. And that really does hang on, though, the books being balanced slightly. Alejandro Garnacho, of course, being linked with a move here from Manchester United. Xavi Simons as well from Leipzig. 2 players they would like, we understand, to bring in if they can clear some of those wages off the books. Now then, one player that you might have seen out there under different circumstances in the rain is Rio Ungo Moa. Yes, what a name that's become. We know, don't we, that he hit the headlines yesterday with that winner for Liverpool. Under different circumstances, he may well have been out here with Chelsea, but he was at the academy. He went to Liverpool. Potentially, though, even though he's not a Chelsea player, some good news for Chelsea, because the debate, the discussion, the argument about how much money they're going to get for him, tribunal is ongoing. And so, obviously, his performance last night, hitting the headlines as he did last night, may well just increase the amount of money that Chelsea do get for that player who slipped a little bit through the net. They wanted to keep him, there was no question about that, but Liverpool came in, offered him they thought, his family thought, a clearer pathway to the first team, and so he decided to leave for Liverpool. But yeah, he's not out there, but most of the squad are, apart from the bomb squad and Cole Palmer.
No stopping Cottrell in the rain. He doesn't need a tent. Braving the drops in London this morning for us. Gary, thank you very much.
Right then, Blues fans, welcome back to your home for all things Chelsea. Fresh off that brilliant 5-1 demolition of West Ham at the London Stadium, we've got some concerning news filtering through from Cobham that'll have every Chelsea supporter holding their breath this morning. Now, whilst we were all celebrating that magnificent performance against the Hammers, and rightly so, 5 different goal scorers, what a statement that was. There's been a significant development regarding our star man that simply cannot be ignored. The whispers started during Friday's warm-up, but now we're getting the full picture, and it's not exactly what we wanted to hear. Before we dive deeper into this story though, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and hit that notification bell. We're your first port of call for all the exclusive Chelsea news that matters, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming in the next few days as this situation develops. So here's what actually happened at the London Stadium, and why Chelsea fans should be genuinely worried about what comes next. Cole Palmer, our absolute talisman, the man who's carried this team on his shoulders for the past 2 seasons, was named in Enzo Maresca's starting 11 as expected. Everything looked normal, everything seemed fine, until those final moments before kickoff. Palmer was going through his usual warm-up routine when something clearly wasn't right. Our sources at the ground tell us he was spotted holding his groin area, and within minutes he was being escorted straight down the tunnel by Chelsea's medical staff. The concern on everyone's faces was obvious. This wasn't just a precautionary measure. This was serious enough to pull him from what should have been a straightforward London derby. What makes this even more worrying is what Maresca revealed after the match. This isn't a new problem that's just appeared overnight. The Italian boss confirmed that Palmer hasn't been 100% for the last 4 or 5 days, and admitted the groin issue had been bothering our number 10 since before the Crystal Palace match. Think about that for a moment. Palmer played through genuine discomfort against Palace, tried his absolute best to be available for West Ham, but his body simply said no. The timing couldn't be more frustrating for Chelsea supporters. We've just started the season. There's genuine optimism around Stamford Bridge for the first time in ages, and now our most important player is facing what could potentially be a lengthy spell on the sidelines. Reports suggest Palmer will undergo a scan this Tuesday to determine the full extent of the injury, with initial concerns pointing towards a possible 4 to 6 week absence. But here's where credit must be given. Estevão stepped up magnificently. The 18-year-old Brazilian who joined us from Palmeiras this summer and was handed his Premier League debut at such short notice didn't just survive the occasion, he thrived. An assist for Enzo Fernandez's goal, composed throughout, and a performance that showed exactly why Chelsea invested so heavily in bringing him to Stamford Bridge. The lad's wearing number 41, and if Palmer is out for any significant period, young Estevão has certainly given Maresca something to think about. The bigger question now is how Chelsea cope without their star man. Yes, we managed brilliantly against West Ham. 5 different goal scorers proved we're not just a one-man team. But let's be honest, Palmer's numbers speak for themselves. 43 goals and 29 assists in just 98 appearances since joining from Manchester City. Those aren't just good statistics, they're exceptional. And you don't simply replace that level of output overnight. What's particularly frustrating is the context around Palmer's commitment to this club. Maresca made it clear that the England international has been trying to push through this injury because he's really keen about the team. That dedication is admirable, but it also raises questions about whether Chelsea's medical staff should have intervened sooner. Groin injuries are notoriously tricky. Rush back too quickly, and you risk turning a minor issue into a major problem. Looking ahead to Saturday's derby against Fulham at Craven Cottage, Maresca now faces his first real tactical dilemma of the season. Does he stick with Estevão after such an impressive debut? Does he shuffle the pack and bring in João Pedro, who joined us from Brighton this summer for $60 million and has already shown he can operate brilliantly in that number 10 role? Or does he completely change the system to accommodate Palmer's absence? The international break looming after the Fulham match might actually work in Chelsea's favor here. If Palmer's scan reveals the injury isn't as serious as initially feared, that 2-week gap could be exactly what he needs to get back to full fitness. But if the worst fears are confirmed, Maresca will need to show he can adapt his tactical approach without compromising the attacking fluidity that makes this Chelsea team so exciting to watch. What we know for certain is that Palmer won't be taking any unnecessary risks with his fitness. The Club World Cup experience he mentioned, where this groin issue apparently first surfaced, shows this has been a recurring problem that simply hasn't gone away. Sometimes the body tells you to stop, and perhaps this forced break is exactly what Palmer needs to come back stronger than ever. For now, all we can do is wait for Tuesday's scan results and hope for positive news. Palmer's injury is a reminder of just how quickly things can change in football, but it's also an opportunity for others to step up and show what they can contribute to this Chelsea project. Stay with us throughout the week as we bring you the latest updates on Palmer's condition, plus all the build-up to Saturday's crucial London derby. This is your Chelsea news channel, keeping you connected to everything happening at the Bridge.